60% of the tray table sitting directly in front of you is filthier than the lavatory flush button you just pressed. Think about that for a second. You are literally eating your expensive terminal snack off a surface where a stranger likely changed a dirty diaper less than an hour ago. Stop. The airlines are profiting off your ignorance, banking on you not knowing how the system works so they can charge you twice for the same seat or hit you with hidden fees. One sarcastic comment at the security checkpoint can lead to 4 hours of federal interrogation and a $200 missed flight penalty. The entire travel experience is a high-stakes game where the house usually wins. But it doesn't have to be that way. Here are 9 rules to survive the airport terminal and beat the system at its own game. Here is rule 1 of 9. 78% of travelers assume that booking on the same reservation number guarantees they will sit together. They are wrong. Take Matteo, a 34-year-old app developer flying home from Frankfurt. He arrived at the gate at 10:45 a.m. with his partner, only to find the computer had assigned them seats 10 rows apart. He was frustrated. "We booked these tickets 6 months ago," he told the agent. The agent just shrugged and pointed at the screen. "The system is rigged. It does not care about your relationship status or your anniversary trip. If you check in late, the airline algorithm automatically fills the remaining gaps individually to keep the plane balanced. They are banking on your frustration to sell you seat upgrades at the very last second." Stop. Here is the fix. Set an alarm and check in exactly 24 hours before departure. If the algorithm has already split you up, do not yell at the gate agent. Instead, ask politely if there are any blocked rows held for weight and balance that might be opening up. Matteo didn't know this, and he spent a 9-hour flight staring at the back of a stranger's head while his partner sat in the middle seat of row 32. It was not bad luck. It was a logic error. You did not lose your seat. You simply lost the game. But a bad seat is a minor inconvenience compared to the legal nightmare of Rule 2. Rule 2 of 9 is about keeping your mouth shut when standing in the security line. One sarcastic comment can turn a weekend getaway into a federal case. Harper, a 27-year-old architect, was standing in a massive security line at Charlotte International. The wait was already over 60 minutes. Her flight to Denver was boarding in less than 20. When the officer asked if she had anything to declare, Harper rolled her eyes and muttered that she only had the explosives in her carry-on. Stop. The officer did not laugh. He did not even blink. Within 30 seconds, 3 supervisors were on the scene. Harper was escorted to a private, windowless room. They used blue nitrile gloves to tear through every inch of her luggage. Every 22 by 14 by 9-inch bag was emptied and searched. They scrutinized her 13-inch laptop and even inspected her half-pound bag of trail mix. Harper missed her flight. She spent 4 hours being questioned by federal agents. The system is banking on your frustration causing a slip-up like this. Do not be a victim of your own humor. If you get pulled aside, stop talking and cooperate without the sarcasm. Reality check. Security agents have 0 sense of humor by design. Harper finally made it home 12 hours later, but only after paying a $200 rebooking fee. She lost half a day of her life for a 5-second joke. But that embarrassment is nothing compared to the technical trap of Rule 3. Rule 3 of 9 focuses on the hidden dangers of documenting your journey. Gabriel, a 52-year-old lawyer, held his phone high at the Madrid airport, framing a selfie just as he reached the X-ray bins. He wanted to post a quick update for his followers, Suddenly, the conveyor belt stopped. A stern officer stepped forward and demanded he put the phone away. "Sir, no photos in the secure zone," the officer barked. Gabriel's face burned as 100 eyes turned toward him. It is a cringe-worthy moment, but the risk is very real. Many travelers believe airports are open public squares where they have a right to film. They aren't. They are banking on your ignorance to keep their security protocols and facial recognition technology off social media. Checkpoints are sensitive zones where cameras are often strictly prohibited. The fix is simple. Stay calm and do not argue. Apologize and offer to delete the image immediately. Gabriel did exactly that, and after a sharp lecture, he was cleared to proceed. Security can legally detain you or involve local police if you are uncooperative. Politeness is your only shield in this situation. Gabriel made his gate, but the shame of the encounter lingered through his entire flight. You cleared security, but wait until you face the power struggles of the terminal. Rule 4 of 9 involves the one thing you crave most in a terminal: power. Have you ever reached into your bag only to realize your phone is at a terrifying 3% battery? Luna, a 29-year-old graphic designer, felt that exact panic at Washington Reagan National at 4:15 p.m. She saw a public USB charging station and plugged in immediately. Stop. That was her biggest mistake of the trip. The airline will never tell you this, but you aren't just charging your battery. You are potentially opening a digital door to all your private data. Cybersecurity experts call this juice jacking. Criminals can modify these public USB ports to install malware or siphon off passwords and banking information while you think you're just getting a quick boost. They are banking on your desperation for a charge. Here is the fix. Never plug your device directly into a mystery USB slot. Always use your own wall adapter in a standard AC outlet. Better yet, buy a $10 USB data blocker. This small device physically cuts the data connection pins while allowing the power to flow through. Luna learned this the hard way when her checking account was drained a week later. It is a convenience trap designed for the unprepared. Luna secured her data, but what about her personal space? Rule 5 will make you rethink touching anything in the terminal. Rule 5 of 9 addresses the brutal reality of terminal real estate. 70% of airport gates lack enough seating for a full flight. Wyatt, a 40-year-old civil engineer, was at Raleigh-Durham for his flight to Phoenix. He was exhausted. There were 200 people waiting, but only 50 seats available in the immediate area. Then he saw it. A man was stretched across 4 chairs, while his designer luggage occupied 2 more spots. Wyatt stood there, lugging his 40-pound pack, feeling his anger rise. It was a blatant breach of the travel code. The airlines provide minimal space, secretly hoping you will get frustrated enough to pay for expensive lounge access. Stop. Here is the move. Do not fight for a seat at your specific gate. Most airports have quiet zones or empty seating near the less busy gates, just a short 5-minute walk away. Look for gates with no scheduled departures for the next 2 hours. If you must stay, ask the seat hog politely, "Is this seat available for a person?" Most people back down when called out. Reality check. You might miss a last-minute gate change announcement if you wander too far. Use the airline app to stay updated in real time. Wyatt found a quiet spot 2 gates down and made his flight easily. 1 seat for one person. It is a simple concept that most people ignore. But seating is the least of your worries when Rule 6 reveals the chaos of the boarding process. Rule 6 of 9 deals with a phenomenon known as gate lice. Stop crowding the boarding area the moment the agent picks up the microphone. Camilla, a 39-year-old marketing specialist, felt her pulse spike at the Athens airport. Everyone around her was standing up, forming a human wall, even though the airline was only calling for Zone 1. Camilla was in Zone 5. She felt the heavy social pressure to join the huddle, fearing her overhead bin space would vanish if she didn't hover nearby. This is a trap. The airline won't tell you this, but crowding the lane actually delays your departure for everyone. When hundreds of people block the path, the boarding process slows down by several minutes, increasing the chance of a missed takeoff slot. Instead of hovering, stay in your seat until your specific zone is actually called. Your seat is already reserved, and the gate agent can manage the flow much faster when the lane is clear. Use your airline's mobile app to receive a notification when it is actually your turn to walk down the jet bridge. Boarding is a system, not a race. Camilla eventually sat back down and realized she was more relaxed than the sweating crowd in front of her. Reality check. Standing up 20 minutes early does not get the plane to your destination any faster. It just makes the terminal feel smaller and more stressful. Camilla made it to her seat without the elevated blood pressure, but even a smooth boarding won't save you from a security error. Rule 7 of 9 is a secret that could save you from a secondary screening. Layla, a 31-year-old pediatric nurse, reached for a gray plastic bin at the San Francisco security checkpoint. She saw a stray bin blocking the conveyor belt and shoved it aside to make space for her own laptop bag. It was a helpful gesture that took 5 seconds, or so she thought. The TSA agent stopped the belt immediately. Layla's heart sank as the line ground to a halt and an officer stepped toward her. They hope you don't know this rule for a reason. By touching someone else's bin, you potentially link your DNA and scent to whatever is inside that container. If that bin contains a trace of something prohibited, you are now part of a formal investigation. In busy hubs like SFO, officers see line organizing by passengers as a red flag for a distraction tactic. Stop. Never touch a bin that isn't yours. If the line is blocked, wait for the staff to clear it. This small act of helpfulness can trigger a 30-minute secondary screening involving explosive trace detection swabs. Layla eventually made her flight, but only after a grueling bag search that left her belongings in a mess. It is not worth the risk. But moving bins is a minor mistake compared to what happens when you ignore the canine protocol in Rule 8. Rule 8 of 9 involves the four-legged officers roaming the concourse. Have you ever seen a wagging tail at the gate and felt the urge to reach out for a quick scratch? Lily, a 45-year-old high school teacher, was waiting for her connection at Minneapolis-St. Paul when she spotted a friendly-looking yellow Labrador. Lily loves dogs and has 2 of her own at home. Without thinking, she chirped a hello and reached down to pat the dog's head. Big mistake. The handler, a stone-faced officer, immediately stepped between them with a firm hand raised. The entire terminal went silent as the officer informed her that she was interfering with a federal detection unit. Lily felt every eye in the concourse on her as her face turned beet red. These are not pets. They are highly specialized biodetection units, trained to find explosives or narcotics in a crowded environment. If you distract them, you break their focus and potentially miss a real threat. The system is rigged to prioritize security over your need for a puppy fix. When you see a canine at the airport, give them at least 5 feet of space. Lily wasn't detained, but she spent her entire flight in a cold sweat, worried her name was now on a watch list. Hands to yourself. Focus is everything in a high-security environment. But embarrassing encounters are the least of your worries. Rule 9 of 9 is the one that will change how you fly forever. 60% of tray tables harbor significantly more bacteria than the lavatory flush button you just pushed. It is the cold, hard truth of modern air travel. Take John, a 58-year-old certified public accountant. John was waiting at gate D2 in Portland International for his flight home. He was hungry and had grabbed a sandwich from a terminal deli. When he finally sat down in seat 14A, he unfolded the tray to eat. A piece of his sandwich fell onto the plastic surface. He picked it up and ate it without a second thought. Stop! The airline won't tell you this, but those tables are almost never sanitized between flights. Ground crews often have less than 15 minutes to turn a plane around, which means they focus on large trash, not microscopic germs. Think about the reality. Someone likely used that exact surface to support a dirty diaper or a used tissue less than an hour ago. John didn't know that, but his immune system found out 3 days later. Stay alert. Here is the fix. Always carry a small pack of alcohol-based wipes in your carry-on. Wipe the entire surface of the tray table, the armrests, and the seatbelt buckle as soon as you sit down. Use a clean napkin as a protective barrier for your food. It takes 10 seconds but can save you from a week of miserable illness. Your health is your responsibility because the airline only cares about the schedule. If you don't know these rules, the airport will take your money and your health every single time. Don't be the passenger they take advantage of. Join our squad by subscribing now.